Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Post-Bit Worldview Review.
This time we're talking about Adventure Capitalist.
We are talking about money.
And making profit. This is like one of my favorite mobile games. Like, I play it on my phone all the time.
Yeah, and it's not too bad on console either.
Yeah, but people always give me a hard time. They're like, Marcus, why are you still playing that game? Why are you still playing that game? Well, I don't know.
Well, you know, I don't know. Actually, you do have all of the achievements, so
well, yeah, technically I'm not playing the game anymore because I beat it.
Technically, you're just pushing buttons, huh?
I actually got each achievement on every single stage. So Earth, Moon, and Mars.
Wow.
Done. Wrap. Game over.
That's pretty impressive, because I haven't even completed Earth yet.
Right. Yeah, it takes a long time. I've been playing the game for months, I think. Just like in my spare time or something.
Did you start that before I got here or after?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I've been playing that game.
So is it months or is it like possibly a year?
I don't want to say.
Oh, happy birthday to you. I will let this one pass.
Okay. All right.
My line of questioning is up.
All right. So let's get into the worldview discussion on a game called Adventure Capitalist, right?
Yes.
So I guess the first question would be, first off, in terms of the purpose of the game, the context of the game, it's talking about capitalism and making money, and you run businesses and hire managers, and the more businesses and that you have, and the more money you invest in, the more money you get.
Correct.
So it's essentially just a click game where you just click as many times as possible. You get as many businesses and as many managers and as much profit as you can.
Yeah.
You
really aren't even clicking half the time. I mean, sometimes you're kind of just watching the lines go by.
It's not technically a clicker as in like, you know, a tap game where you just tap, 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 tap and break your screen. But it's more, you know, you can play the game while you're doing other things because it plays in the background, and then you can come back to it and you know.
Then you have all the money.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, your businesses keep working while you're not playing.
Right, so capitalism's good.
Capitalism is good. Why?
I actually went and brought up some Bible verses about capitalism, if you would like to hear them.
I would love to hear them.
I do my research.
Before we talk about a game.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. It's a good idea. You should learn.
That's a good policy to put into practice.
Yeah. So it's so here's like, I mean, there's a lot, right? So the one I like is about the sluggard.
Yeah.
In Proverbs 13:4, it says the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied.
Yep.
And then Ephesians 4:28 is awesome. It says, let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need.
Yep.
That's a great verse. Like, that's anti-taxation, I think, a little bit.
I think it might be.
So you say so.
It's certainly anti-welfare.
Right. That's what I meant. Sorry, anti-welfare. Yeah. So let the thief who's stealing, let him not steal, but rather let him work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need.
Wow. So you mean I don't have to give my money to the government in order to help people?
Exactly right.
That's an incredible idea.
Right, exactly. So throughout Scripture, the Bible always talks about the how it's a good thing for men to work with their hands, to be skilled with his hands. It says a man who is skilled in his work will stand before kings. There's a lot in Scripture that talks about working and selling and getting paid and being successful.
Right, and we see that all through the Proverbs. We see that, I mean, we even see in some of the parables being prepared, and I mean, like the parable of the talents and things like that, multiplying wealth. We see it, what is it? Is it 1 Thessalonians? When Paul's saying, you know, he that does not work does not eat, right?
Yeah, Thessalonians 3:10.
Man, you got that one out. It took some time, but you got it.
For even when we were with you, we would give you this command: if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat.
Wow. That's a concept that we don't hear much about, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, Proverbs continues that. It says, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Proverbs 12:27. We keep going, man.
We can
Whoever
go
is
all day.
slothful will not roast his game. What does that mean? Will not roast his game. Oh, not a video game.
Mark,
like a turkey bird.
the next game, you're going to try and roast that game, huh?
Whoever is slothful,
You are having trouble with words today, my friend.
I am. Whoever is slothful will not roast his game, but the diligent man will get precious wealth. Words are hard.
Yeah, words can be hard.
So all that to say that the Bible is really big on people working and making money and being able to provide for themselves.
Right.
And it's not very big on not making money and taking from other people.
Right.
Right? So if you don't work, you don't eat. It doesn't say if you don't work, the government will provide for your well-being, take care of your family, give you food stamps so you can eat. That's not what it says. So God is a capitalist and an entrepreneur, as Jonathan McIntosh says on the Apologia NSA lectures that are coming.
You didn't even bring up the parable of the vineyard or the vine workers.
I didn't bring up the parable of the vineyard worker because it's one of my favorite.
I mean, you could go all day about that, but I mean, give us a brief run through of that.
Okay, so the parable of the vineyard workers in Matthew 20, I believe, right?
Yep.
Okay, Matthew 20, Jesus is saying that these vineyard workers go out into the field at different times of the day, and they receive money, all the same pay, no matter how long they work. And so the last guy comes and he only works a little bit towards the end of the day, but he gets the same as the other people who have been there the whole day. And the vineyard workers who have been working the entire day are mad and upset that this guy got paid the same amount for doing less work. And the vineyard's worker response is, don't I have a right to do with my money as I please? Right?
The boss, the vineyard manager.
Yeah, the vineyard manager. And so that is in the context, that passage is talking about the fact that God can do what he wants with what is his as he pleases. But the parable has to be true as well. So in order for the parable to be true, it means that one, you own money, and two, you have a right to do with your money as you please. And you can hire people, paying them whatever you desire to pay them as long as they willingly agree. And so there's a lot in there about employment contracts and offers of employment and how if someone agrees to be paid for a certain amount for their work, then they can't complain if they're getting paid less because they've willingly agreed to be paid that. And so if that is not true, then in terms of how God works in salvation, that can't be true either.
Right.
Right? So because if God really can do what he wants as he pleases, then the same has to be true for your money and vice versa. Because God uses that story about a man's money and ownership of his things to compare it to himself. And so they both have to be true. So all that to say is if you're not a capitalist, you can't be a Calvinist.
Ooh. Ooh.
You can't do it.
Sorry for that, you Bernie supporting Calvinists.
Yeah. So play Adventure Capitalist. It's a great game.
It is a great game. Is there anything else in the worldview of that game that you can think to bring up?
Well, there's a lot of crony capitalism stuff you have to buy.
Crony capitalism?
Yeah, crony capitalism is when you petition the government to do your work for you. And so the government steals from other people and uses taxes and stuff to accomplish an ends that will help your business succeed.
To create a government instituted monopoly?
Exactly, right.
Oh.
So for example, if you want to buy a piece of property, but you can't buy that property because somebody owns it and doesn't want to sell it to you, you go to the government and have the government confiscate their property and then sell it to you on budget.
Wow,
Donald Trump.
That sounds pretty unjust.
Yeah, it is.
Huh. So Adventure Capitalist supports capitalism.
Yeah, yes.
But it also supports crony capitalism.
There's some hints of crony capitalism in there.
Okay. I did notice that the manager for my bank is, in fact, Satan.
Is that really his name?
I don't know that was his name. It might have just been the devil.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those, but he was definitely that little caricature of Satan.
What about the Los Humanos?
Oh yeah. No, you get all kinds of good little allusions and references
Yeah.
Some good pop culture references. It's pretty hilarious. You got Grumpy McCatface or something.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
You do
So
get
play
some
the
good
game.
ones.
Just play the game.
Yeah,
It's a free game on
hang
your
on,
smartphone.
hang on. Let me just you play it for like, a couple minutes. Don't dive in. Don't pull a Marcus and play it for a year and just while you're having a conversation with your friend / roommate / co-host.
You're really anxious to get back to your PlayStation version of your game, aren't
that
you?
is so false. I am so excited to get back. Hopefully I'll have like $1 trillion. So I'm going to get back to my Adventure Capitalist, which was supposed to be a secret, but Marcus told everybody. But before I do that, I obviously have to close out the show. So thank you everyone for listening to the Worldview review of Adventure Capitalist. Hopefully you'll tune in next week for our favorite game of all time that Marcus does love.
No.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and or comment if that is what brings you pleasure. Peace and good night.
And even if it doesn't, do it anyway, because it brings us pleasure.
Shout out to my mom.